y'all, welcome back to Latravia's Kitchen. Today we are making squash casserole. So let's get started with the ingredients. First off, we need the star of the show, right? The squash. So these have already been washed, they just need to be chopped into slices. We also have about a little over a third cup of milk. We have about a fourth a cup of chopped onion. They're in little dices. Little nice pieces there. We have some butter that we're going to be melting. We have a little bit of water. I got it at the half cup mark. We're going to use that water while we're cooking our squash to get ready for the casserole. We have some bacon because I want some bacon in my casserole, y'all. Our seasonings, we have some salt-free vegetable seasoning, right? So this vegetable seasoning, it has in it onion, garlic, black pepper, thyme, basil, red bell pepper, tomato, and some turmeric, guys. And as far as I know, like different research and things that I've done before, turmeric has really good health benefits. So I think this is a good keeper. I like to use it on different vegetables when I cook, and squash is one of the things I love adding this vegetable seasoning on. Since this doesn't have salt, we're going to be using some salt, right? So we have our Morton salt. We're just going to put a little bit in there, not too much. I love my ground black pepper, right? So I'm going to add a little bit more black pepper in here. Of course, I got my pan so that I can spray my casserole dish. We have 1 egg that I've already beaten. That's going to be like a binder. And speaking of binders for our casserole, we're going to be using some all-purpose flour. Just 1 tablespoon of all-purpose flour. It wouldn't be a casserole without some cheese. So we will be using about 1/4 to a half a cup of this mild cheddar cheese. It's already shredded. And to top off this casserole, we're going to be using some Ritz crackers. If you remember in the chicken and broccoli casserole, I said I like those little fresh stacks. That way I'm not leaving out a pack, trying to close it up, and it then got stale. So we got these nice little small fresh stacks that we're going to use what we need, and top that off with some melted butter poured all over the top. You guys, I am getting hungry just thinking about all of this. So let's get into it. First thing that we need to do is preheat our oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. So this has already been preheated and it's ready to go. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to chop up our squash, okay? So we don't want this in and we don't want that in, right? So what I do, I take this off. And of course, you know, I like to set things to the side. We're not going to use those. We want our squash pieces to be about evenly cut, right? So we're going to just take it and cut them about this thick, as you can see, all right? So now we have our chopped squash, right? And what we're going to do is we're going to place the squash in our big skillet here. And what we're going to do, we want to add our diced onion, and we're going to cook this. Let it simmer in here for about 5 minutes. And when we let it simmer, we're going to pour in that little bit of water that I showed you a little bit earlier. Pour that in and let it cook for 5 minutes covered. Now the reason why we're doing this, squash already has liquid in it, right? So since it already has liquid in it, what we're going to do is add the water in here to help it. And we don't want to like completely dry it out or make it all brown and mushy looking. We just want it, you know, it's yellow squash. We just want it how squash is supposed to be, right? So let's go ahead and pour this water in here. We poured a little bit in there. We may add a little bit more once we see what's going on. I got the heat on about medium. And we got it covered. We'll check back on it in about 5 minutes. So it's been 5 minutes according to my timer. And what I'm going to do is turn off the stove eye and remove this from the heat. Be a little careful. And we want to strain the water off as much as we can. So I'm going to use my lid here and try to pour off as much water as I can without you losing any of this onion in here, right? Okay. Set this lid off. And we have a bowl, and this is how we're going to put our mixture together, right? I'm also going to take a spoon that has some holes in it, just in case I didn't get all the liquid off, right? So let's pick up our squash and start putting that in that bowl there. You can see our squash looks like it's been like steamed really well. You see all that steam coming off of there. We have our squash and our onions. Y'all, this is going to be wonderful. So now we have all of our squash and onion that's been drained in this bowl. And what we're going to do, we're going to crumble up our 2 slices of bacon, right? And add them into this mixture here. I know some people probably like, can you do this with something else other than your hands? I like to use my hands. You want to use something else? Feel free. This is your squash casserole. You do what you feel you want to do. But this bacon was cooked already beforehand in the oven according to the package instructions. I like the hickory smoked bacon. And now we're gonna add about 1/4 to a 1/2 cup of cheese in here. You watch other videos, you know I like cheese, right? So that's why. We want a tablespoon of this all-purpose flour, right? Now this is gonna act like that binder, right? So if you want, instead of using flour, you could crumble up some Ritz crackers at this stage and mix that with the cheese and put it in here, because the flour from the crackers will also act as a binder as well. I'm just gonna add this flour in here. And then I'm also going to add just a little bit of salt. I'll say you can do about a teaspoon. If you don't want any salt, you don't have to use any salt. Remember, we have the salt-free vegetable seasoning that we're using. And I'll say you can use about a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. And you guys, you're going to smell all of the spices and everything in here. This seasoning smells so great. It's really good for vegetables. And then we're gonna add maybe about just a teaspoon of that black ground pepper. And don't forget our milk. We're gonna melt about 2 to 3 tablespoons of butter and add this in here as well. So I have a bowl right here. And we're gonna go by the measurements that's on the stick of butter. That's about 3 tablespoons. Drop that in there. We're leaving this over here because we're gonna need to melt this also later for our crumb cracker. So we're gonna take this right here, maybe about 30 seconds, melt this in the microwave, okay? Don't forget that we also have that 1 egg that's already been beaten, and we're gonna pour this in here as well. I'm gonna get all the egg out of here. And now we're gonna mix it all together, right? Start to anyway. You wanna make sure every little piece of the squash gets covered with this coating, right? The reason why you're going to go ahead and start mixing, you want to make sure you have enough cheese to your liking in this mixture, right? And from what I can see, I'm going to want a little bit more cheese. If you want more bacon than this, more bacon than 2 strips, use what you prefer. I just wanted to do 2 strips of bacon, kind of crush it and crumble it in there. That way it'll be like nice little bites of bacon when I get in there. I always feel bacon makes everything feel so much better, right? It just makes it taste so much better. So we're gonna add our butter in here, a nice little melted butter. I love butter too, so butter gives it a nice flavor. I'm all about flavor. As one of my favorite Food Network stars, Guy Fieri, says, you want to take it to Flavor Town, right? If you haven't noticed, I like watching Food Network in my spare time. Gives me so many ideas and places I want to go and see. So many restaurants I want to try. It's just so great. I'm gonna add maybe about a little bit more cheese because I want a nice little cheesy mixture here, right? We're gonna put some cheese on top as well. So we're gonna mix this on in. Make sure we don't lose any squash trying to come off the edge of the bowl here. I hope everybody's having a great day. I know I am so far. Everything's smelling so good and I cannot wait to be able to dig in. So as you can see right here, here's our squash mixture here. Now we're gonna set this over and take our little casserole dish here and spray it down with some pan. So we have our casserole dish sprayed down, and now we're gonna pour our contents into here. Y'all know I don't like to waste anything, so I'm trying to get everything out of this bowl here. You know, that onion's gonna give it a nice flavor, the cheese, the butter, everything, right? So we got that poured out. And now we're gonna spread our little casserole out in the pan here. We want everything to be nice and evenly cooked, right? So spread this down a little bit. And now squash mixture here. And we are going to now crumble our crackers and put them on top. So like I said earlier, I like these little tiny little fresh stacks, guys. That way I'm not having anything left over that's gonna be stale and I go to bite into it and it's just not gonna taste right. So these little fresh stacks, I really believe are the way to go. Now, if you're making dinner with your kiddos, remember this is a great step for them to help you. So all they're doing is taking it with their little fist and crumbling it up, right? So this is a great step for the kids to help you out. They'll feel like they're really making a big difference, right? And they are, because they are topping that casserole off. And that is something, that's an important step. So let the kids help you if you can, if they want to. I mean, that's one way they can know when they get older how to fend for themselves, because they're starting to learn how to cook with their parents, and these will be great memories that they'll have to look back on. Like, I remember my mom and my dad, they made such and such with me and it always tasted oh so good. I know I have so many wonderful memories with my grandmother and my mom when we would make different meals or snacks or things like that. So, guys, make sure you always think about that. You'll be surprised what the kids remember when they get to be an adult. So we got it all nice and covered with our crackers here. And we are about to melt the rest of this butter here. I'll say about to here. We'll get that much. Put it in for about 30 seconds. And we're going to sprinkle a little bit more cheese on top. Just a little bit more. Now we've melted this butter, and what we're going to do now, take it, because we want that nice golden top, right? So we're gonna pour it all over in here, right? Just all over, because we want that nice golden top. Now, this is going in the oven at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 25 minutes. So I'll check back in with you guys when it's ready. So guys, our 25-minute timer is up, and it's time to take the squash casserole out of the oven. Oh, it smells so wonderful in here, guys. It smells so good. Woo! Look at this. Don't you guys see that? Smells so great. No, I'm not just eating squash casserole by itself today. Squash casserole will be a part of a 4-part series, because today I'm having some fried chicken drumsticks, guys. I'm having some baked mac and cheese. I'm also gonna have some buttermilk cornbread with some honey in it. So be on the lookout for those upcoming 3 videos as well. But y'all, this right here, it smells oh so good, guys. It smells wonderful. Guys, take a look at this beautiful golden top on the squash casserole. Look at that at the side. You see all that nice flavor going in, how it looks like it's nice and binded. Look at this cheese. And I see you back there in that corner peeking out that yellow squash. Guys, it smells so great. I really can't wait to enjoy it. Whew. I'm sitting here, my mouth's watering. I can't wait to dig into everything once everything is done. You guys, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. When you subscribe and hit that little notification bell, it'll let you know when I drop some oh so wonderful and delicious recipe videos for you guys' enjoyment, okay? I know you want to be able to make this right here, the squash casserole, so all of the ingredients and the directions will be in the description box below. I hope you guys have a great day. See you next time.